Good morning. I hope you're doing well today. Happy Wednesday. We woke up to so much snow, you guys. It's ridiculous. And then I found myself being a negative Nancy or negative mindset, and I was like counting forward to April, which is when our snow starts to melt typically. And that's like 7 months away, you guys. Like, why am I here? Anyway, I hope you're having a good Wednesday and I hope you're doing well. Today, the topic of my video is diet mindset versus intuitive eating. So we're just going to be talking about some quick ways that you can kind of switch the script on diet mentality and come from it from like the diet mindset and like kind of throw it out the window, and some kind of practical advice for how to switch your thinking into more of the intuitive eating mindset. So before we get started, if you guys are watching this on Facebook this morning, I would encourage you to head on over to YouTube, type my first and last name in, hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications for every time that I come live, because sometimes Facebook goes down, so you might want to subscribe to my channel. So on my YouTube channel, you will find lots of different yoga videos, meditations, lots of topics like this one around either self-love topics or intuitive eating or meditations, yoga practices, like I've already said, stuff like that. So be sure to head on over there. So intuitive eating. So diet mindset versus intuitive eating. So let's get started. So I've really started to flip my thinking and flip my perspective and my living onto more of the intuitive eating side of the world. And it's interesting, like it's very much out, like, and I guess maybe I'm surrounded by it because I'm really diving into it and making sure that I'm seeing it on social media and all that places. But I do really feel like it's kind of the new thing out there that people are wanting to try. And it's really like, it's undieting, like it's not a diet, right? And it's just, it's brought me so much peace and kind of like freedom with my eating and my food and my relationship with food. And it's really helped me to make peace with food. And so it's been something that I have benefited from. And I really try and instill it in my kids and my husband too, because I feel like if we can start to listen to our bodies rather than always feeling like bad for eating something or starving ourselves or doing those things because that's what we think we should do because we should be a smaller size according to society, I really try and step away from that and come up from a perspective of, does it nourish your body? Does it make you feel good? Are you full or are you hungry still? Like just looking at all those different things, right? So it's just little steps to start to break free from the diet mentality. So I'm just going to be going through some quick little kind of this versus this kind of exercise on seeing just how we can flip common phrases that we'll probably tell ourselves as, coming from probably a society and probably a person that has grown up in the diet industry and diet mentality and all those things. And just how we can say statements that we used to say negatively or, from a diet standpoint and kind of turn it around to more of an intuitive eating standpoint. So if you want to have a notebook to kind of write these down to kind of tell yourself, it's a good idea too probably, but if you want to just listen, that's okay too. So before we get started, if I forgot to say, if you guys are watching live, please say hello so I can say hi back to you. I'll be coming on at the end here and saying hi to anyone who popped in. And if you are watching on the replay, just hashtag replay and I'll make sure I come and comment after and say hi to you then. I always love to hear from people who are, if you've watched and if it's helped you, and it just kind of helps me to figure out what I need to be talking about. So the first thing is diet industry or diet mindset. Always we have this thinking of, can I have this? So you will look at that piece of pizza or you'll look at this apple even because depending on what kind of trend was going on, sometimes apples were bad and eggs were bad and bread was bad, but then bread was good and then eggs were good and then they were bad. Like it was hard to keep up, right? And so coming from the standpoint of always saying, can I have this? Is it good for me? And kind of flipping the script to being, do I want this? Is this something that I like to eat that makes me feel good, that keeps me full? And getting rid of any of those rules that either were were or were not at the moment, and just listening to your body and listening to like, yes, I do want eggs for breakfast, so I'm gonna have eggs for breakfast. Right? And then the next one is, how do I look? We often, and I am guilty of this too, we will often be saying, how do I look? Do I look good enough to go uptown or go out for dinner or whatever it is? And we need to switch that around, you guys. We need to switch it around to be saying, how do I feel? So how do I feel in these clothes? How do I feel about how I look today? And connecting it to your feelings rather than just how do I look, is how do I feel? How do I feel in this? Because really, it's really about how you feel. Because if you feel good in something, or how you're feeling today, how you look today, if you're confident in feeling that makes you feel good, and you feel good for either wearing that thing or wearing your hair that way, or, you're having a really high energy day, whatever it is, just celebrating and being confident with it. Because confidence is the key to a lot of this, is not being focused so much on how you look, but how you feel. And then another phrase that people will commonly say is, how much food do I get today? And it used to be me. I would pre-measure out all my food. And if that's something you do and it makes you happy, I'm happy for you. But for me, it was a negative thing, because it was always associated with starving myself and only being able to have certain foods. And I can't do that for my own mental well-being now. And so it's going from how much food do I get today to how much food do I need today. And that's really important when you're talking about food, is just how much food do I need today? Like, if I just bring this to work with me today, is that going to sustain me and nourish me and give me the energy that I need to do the things that I need to do today? Or do I need a little bit more today because I have lots going on and I got to make sure that I'm fueled up to be able to get through this day? And just really switching the switch again, from going from how much do I get to how much do I need. So just really switching that kind of mindset, right? And then the next one that often people say is, will this make me skinny? Oh, I hate that. Because so much of my life has been revolved around, oh, I can't eat that because that's not going to make me skinny. And the only way that I can be happy and valued and important is if I'm skinny. So I would tell myself that very, so often. Like, I would, go to a restaurant and look at the menu and be like, oh, I can only look in the salad section because everything else is going to make me fat and I can't have that. And what we need to do is switch that to, will this nourish me? So looking at whatever it is, and will this provide nourishment? Because all foods provide nourishment, you guys. And yes, and I think there's a fine line between people thinking about intuitive eating of just like, oh, you can just eat cheeseburgers every day for the rest of your life because you're listening to what you want. And it's not true, guys. And you will discover that as you do intuitive eating, that your body craves certain foods. And sometimes, yes, it's a cheeseburger, but sometimes it's a salad, or sometimes it's a really yummy bowl of soup with lots of vegetables in it. Like, that's what I feel like today with this stupid snow. So I know there's this stigma out there of just, oh, if I do intuitive eating, I'm giving up. Like, I'm not going to be doing, I'm not going to be working towards my health, or I'm not going to make myself a better person. And that's totally the opposite. You're just listening to your body is what it is, and you're giving your body what it needs. And so when we're talking about this of, will it make me skinny or will it nourish me? Yes, all forms of food provide some form of nourishment. So if that's what your body's telling you need, then have it. And then the next thing is, I exercise so I can eat. And this is something I used to do too. I used to say, okay, I'm going to go out for dinner tonight. So I'm going to do 2 workouts today instead of 1, so I can have a cheeseburger at dinner, or if I can have a pizza at dinner, whatever it is, right? We have to flip the switch again, you guys, to being, I eat so I can exercise. So we need to eat in order to have energy to exercise, and exercise is an important part of our health and our wellness and our physical self-care. And so it is important to eat so you can exercise. However, it is not important to exercise so you can give yourself permission to eat. And so that's a really big one too, that I have noticed for myself is I move because I love movement and I love the things that I do when I'm moving, like kayaking or yoga or walking or whatever these things are. And so I eat so I can do those things, because if I don't eat and then I expect myself to go for a 2-hour kayak or go for a 2-hour walk or do a yoga practice, then I'm not going to, my body, my muscles, my energy levels are not going to be good if I'm not eating. So, and then another thing that we're moving into is a common phrase that's usually said about the diet mindset is, I can eat whatever I want on my cheat day. And I used to do that too. These are all things that I used to do and I used to say to myself. And so it's really kind of the whole cheat day mentality. And I know, like, there's definitely people probably listening to this that are like, oh yeah, whatever. I do this and it works for me. And I'm not saying that you have to do it this way. I'm just saying from my own experiences and my history with dieting, that it doesn't work for me anymore. And so coming from this, I can eat whatever I want on my cheat day, it really just enforces binge eating. And that's something that I know I've struggled with, and I know other people around me that have, and it's very, kind of saving up all that kind of like built up cravings and kind of not listening to your body for asking for what it needs and not giving your body what it needs, then you kind of save up all that built up excitement and then you just eat, like you crazy eat, and then you become, and then you're not listening to your body anymore, right? You are totally disconnected from your body when you have those cheat days, because typically, at least this was my experience, I was on a cheat day, I would eat stuff even if I didn't want it. Like I would just be like, oh, today's the day to have it, so I'm gonna have it. I don't care because I won't get it for another week, or whatever it is, right? So it really was an unhealthy habit that I found myself in, because I was treating cheat days as this permission to like pretty much binge and also get myself so uncomfortably, painfully full. So cheat days didn't work for me. And so we're going to switch the narrative on this one again, going from I can eat whatever I want on my cheat day to I can eat whatever I want every day. And so once you give yourself permission to eat, you'll start to notice that you're not going to want to eat cheeseburgers every day. That's going to get really boring. And you're not going to want to eat mounds and mounds of food just because you can. You really become mindful. Like it's all about mindfulness. And that's why I think I've been so drawn to intuitive eating, because a part of my yoga journey led me down this mindfulness path. And when you're mindful about your food, as if you're mindful about everything else that you're doing in life, like staying present, staying connected to your body, all these things that we're taught in a yoga practice, we can apply so much of those same principles to intuitive eating. And it's very similar in that way. And so I find myself really connecting to it that way, on just listening to your body, of like, you know what, I can only eat half of that dessert because I am just full and I don't want it anymore and it doesn't taste good to me anymore. And so being able to stop yourself too is something that I've learned, that I've accomplished through intuitive eating, is just listening to my body of like, nope, I'm going to pause. I'm going to put that over there and I'm going to come back to it later. Like just last night, for example, we had, a fellow firefighter, my husband brought home yummy dessert from him, and I was eating it, and my husband gave me a really big piece, and I'm like, oh, that's really big, but whatever, I'll just eat what I can. So I ate about, I don't know, just about half of it, and then I'm like, I'm full, I can't eat anymore right now, I'm going to put it away and have it tomorrow. So I did, like I put it away, and I'm going to have it today at some point. So it's just, and before, my old mindset and the whole like eating, I would eat that whole thing just because it was there and it was delicious. I wouldn't think about whether my body was full or not, or if I had enough. So those are little celebrations that you'll start to notice as you kind of dive into the whole intuitive eating world. So I have one more thing here for you guys, and then I'm going to pop out of here. I'm long-winded with all this stuff because I'm really excited. It's something that's totally helping me, and so I'm excited to share it with you guys. So the last little kind of phrase that you commonly hear when you're talking about the diet mindset is, food is my worst enemy and my favorite reward. And this is sad, you guys, right? We look at food as the enemy of like, oh, food is the reason why I'm this way and why I don't feel like I'm enough and I don't feel valued and I don't feel loved because of food. Food is the worst enemy because this is what it's made me this way, right? And we just need to, once again, flip the switch, flip the narrative to more of food is just food. It's just food. It has no control or power over you. And yes, if you have eating disorders or if you have like more significantly toxic relationships with food, then food may feel like your enemy right now. But if that's something that you're listening to, I highly encourage you to get the help you need with someone who is qualified to help you with an eating disorder, because that's scary when you start to think that too, right? So, but if you're coming from a place of just having this long history with dieting and just tired of it, then once you've kind of switched to the whole intuitive eating mindset, you'll start to realize that food is just food. It's there to nourish you. It's there to help you stay alive. And once you've learned to just really tap into how you feel when you're eating, listening to your body, stopping when you're full, listening to your hunger cues and your fullness cues, like there's a whole bunch of stuff, tools and practices that they help you kind of work through that really is helpful. But yeah, so those are just kind of some phrases that you might have heard in the diet mindset and just helping you to kind of think about them from more of an intuitive eating kind of a stance. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you are not in my community, we have a bunch of different things happening in there. I have a free community called Imperfectly Perfect You, Finding Self-Love at Any Size. And we are a group of women just empowering each other to do just that. So if that feels like something that you need more of in your life, we would love to welcome you into that space. And then I did talk a lot about mindful eating today, or intuitive eating. I wanted to share with you guys that I do have a 28-day yoga and mindful eating program. It takes you through 28 days of yoga, along with 4 different workbooks that start to help you to heal your relationship with food, make peace with food, and these things all happen in 10 minutes a day. I know we're busy moms. I know we don't have a lot of time. So this 28-day program really sets you up for success by not being something that you have to dedicate a lot of time to. So that course is half off right now until the end of this month, until I launch my signature program. So if you want to grab it before the price goes up, the link is not in the description of this video. So I will put the link in the comments, or you can just head on over to my website and find it there. And that is that. So yeah, you guys, that's about all I had for you. I kept on you on here way longer than I normally do. That's what happens when I get excited about topics. I keep talking. I should pop on here quick and see if anyone's on there. Let's see what you guys are saying.
Here way longer than
Oh, there's my voice. I saw a couple people watching. Hello. I hope you guys are doing well. All right, I'm going to pop out of here, you guys. We will see you